What exactly is the Holy Trinity? The word itself is never actually mentioned in the Bible, yet it's considered to be one of the core beliefs of Christianity. The Trinity is the way in which humans understand God. Some people like to use real-world illustrations, for example, an egg. An egg is made of three parts: the shell, the white, and the yolk, and together they combine to create an egg. However, the difference with the Trinity is that each individual element is in itself fully God. So you wouldn't take the yolk from the egg and say that yolk is an egg. It's simply part of an egg. However, if you take the Holy Spirit from the Trinity, he is still fully and completely God. So how does the Trinity work? We know that throughout all of history, people have worshipped thousands of different gods, but the Bible tells us there's only one. So in our reality, there is one true God, but the word Trinity means a group of three. The one true God is described as three different persons. Each person is fully God, yet distinct from one another. The three persons are called the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The Bible specifically states that each person of the Trinity is fully God. John 17:3 proves that the Father is God. John 20:28 proves that the Son is God, and Acts 5 verse 3-4 proves that the Holy Spirit is God. The Bible also says that the Trinity has existed eternally, meaning they have always existed and always will exist. We see both the Son and the Spirit with the Father before our universe was even created, in the following verses. The other important thing to know is that the persons of the Trinity are distinct from one another. John 14:26 proves the Spirit is separate from the Father. John 6:38 proves that the Father is separate from the Son, and Acts 10:38 proves that the Son is separate from the Spirit. In fact, this is one of the few verses that captures all three of the members of the Trinity in one verse. All three members of the Godhead work together in many ways, from the creation of the world to the rescue mission of humans through Jesus, even to how we pray to God and how we will eventually be saved. Ultimately, the Trinity is one of those things that is beyond our full understanding, but it's important we don't try to reduce God to a simple analogy, because anything we can come up with will fall flat. Sometimes it's okay not to have full understanding, and maybe someday God will reveal the mystery to us himself.